high level, what we're after is air quotes, enduringly profitable businesses. So what that means to us, companies that are B2B only, that have been in business for longer than 10 years with durable earnings. So this level of performance they have, let's say between, I have 1 to 2 million on the slide. Really, it's been 1 to 3 million with our sweet spot closer to 2. They're producing earnings in that range repeatedly year over year over year. They have a base of customers that have been buying from them year over year over year. And that's I think kind of one of the hallmarks of enduring profitability for B2B companies is low churn, high customer tenure. We're looking for that base of customers to be pretty well diverse. So we don't want to see a huge customer concentration, and we want to see them operating in some sort of defensible niche, right? So there's some sort of barrier to competition that we can point our finger at. In some cases, that's a small geographic monopoly. In other cases, it's their particular important position in a company's supply chain. There could be 15 different barriers, but high level, that's what we're looking for. We stay out. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, there's a few things as part of our criteria that are do not. We will not go into any businesses that are highly cyclical. So think energy or construction. We won't go into things that are highly disruptible. Think technology. And there's a few other little bullets on there about customer concentration, supplier concentration, skill of the owner, etc., that we will not touch. But what was your question, Jay?
I was going to ask if you can talk about the businesses you already invested in within this filter.
Yeah, sure. So I mentioned we've got 6 of them so far, so I'll just run you through them. Yeah. Our first is a heavy commercial towing company. So think not of the tow trucks that would come get you if your car broke down, but if you see a semi-truck broken down on the side of the highway, the big old rotators and wreckers that come and do that work. We've got one of those in Virginia, and this checks the box of their little geographic monopolies, right? They've a high CapEx requirement, and they can only go so many miles from their base. So you wind up with a whole bunch of little geographic monopolies around the country. Ironically enough, we have a second one of these in the portfolio, and it's because we knew at the time the initial entrepreneur's brother was going to be searching for a similar type business. So we put in a right of first refusal. That has come to pass, and we're in the process of integrating those 2 deals now, which is this one's going to be a little coup for us in the first fund because we bought the first one at a 3.5 EBITDA multiple, the second one at a 3.0. And when you look at the transaction comps to like a private equity buyer at the size of EBITDA we're talking about at the combined entity level, the transaction multiple is like an 8 or a 9. So that one's right a really nice one for us.
Yeah. How much EBITDA was the first one?
The first one is like $1 million change. I think like 1.2. The second one, I think, is closer to 3. And we almost got a better multiple on that one because we had inside industry connections from the first deal.
That's awesome.
So 2 towing companies. We have a company up in Massachusetts that is a manufacturer of specialty coated wires and cables, and electrical cables that go inside of all sorts of outdoor machinery. So think your John Deere tractors or jet skis, any marine appliance, wiring harnesses that would go in all sorts of vehicles and that sort of thing. We have a cleaning service out in Salt Lake City, Utah that cleans the commercial cooking hoods that are in kitchens. So per fire code, those cleaning hoods over the grills have to be cleaned by a certified cleaning service X number of times per year. And this is the service that goes around and cleans those hoods. We have a business in Southern California that is in sheet metal fabrication. That's actually a roll-up strategy. So that's a highly fragmented situation. And that company is a platform that we bought into that's gobbling up a whole series of other sheet metal fabricators that service different customers, slightly different product types for cross-selling and scale purposes. And the most recent one is a 3PL or a third-party logistics provider. That one was a little bit unique for us because we didn't buy into the original acquisition. They'd actually bought the company about 3 years ago, and they've done 2 tiny tuck-ins. and they were getting ready to gobble up a much bigger company as a third add-on. And so we came into the raise to facilitate as kind of like growth capital, which I actually love because they've proven not only can they run this business, but they can also successfully integrate acquisitions. So that one's majorly de-risked, even though it's a little different than our initial acquisition thesis.